Hi, everybody. How's it going? Thank you for joining me once again for Get Your Money Right with Yvonne. I'm Yvonne. Listen, I want to start this the way that we like to start this all the time is by asking you, how are you doing? How are you faring? How's the day, the week, the whatever going for you? We know that there can be challenges. We know this. And ours are not all the same, obviously, but just know that there is a community out here that is hoping for your success. And we wish you the best and just want you to know that we're thinking of you, okay? And if you want to know how to communicate with this community rather, I'll let you know at the end. Just enjoy our session. Let's just go with this, okay? So how are things going with me? They are going okay. I don't have complaints. I really don't. Um, I will tell you a story. And I think that this is interesting because over the last weekend, right? I go to one of the shopping malls in the neighborhood and I hear conversations going on around me. And, I didn't know what it was or anything like that. I went to the store, and when I came back out, one of the gentlemen that was talking was sitting next to the dollar store and asking people for money. And when I came upon him, I said hello because I think it's really important that we acknowledge one another. Again, everyone's struggles and challenges are different, and we just want to keep that in mind, right? So I told him I didn't have any money, which was a little bit of a lie, right? Because I keep cash with me. I had cash for my pedicure, I had cash for a manicure, I had the cash I was going to use to go shopping. So I had it, but truthfully, I didn't think it was safe to pull it out in front of somebody I don't know in this circumstance. So I didn't. So I wished him a good day and I kept walking down. There was a Target at the other end of the mall. So I go into Target and I get the item that I came there for. But then on the way out, I looked if they had sandwiches, something that was in a container and some water. Just, make it simple. And I go, if for whatever reason he doesn't want it, I can eat it. But in any case, I went back and I said, "Sir, would you like a sandwich and a bottle of water?" And his eyes lit up. He said, "Yeah, thank you." Just something so simple. I mean, we're all stretched, we're all strapped. I get that. But I could be a human being to this person. And I just thought it was important that I reach out and, just think about it in your own lives. We can all make a difference some kind of way for somebody else who has it, worse than we do, quite truthfully. So, with that, let's get back to our session. So, the last time we chatted, I pulled out one of these and I said, write down your expenses for last month, right? Everything. Would you spend money on? And so you would have had withdrawals from your cash machine. You would have had any checks that you wrote. You know what your pay is, right? And so all of that, anything that you paid for in the month, that was supposed to be written down. And I say this because it's one of the easiest ways to figure out how much money you have or how much you might be short. Okay, you can guess all month long, but don't do that. Take control of your finances. And the first thing is to know, what do you spend money on? It's really important that we all learn to do that because I learned some things. Like I said, this is a decades long process for me, learning about my money and just learning to live above water. Okay, so if you haven't done it, please make sure to do that. And I'm going to stop myself for just half a second because I just thought of something. Uh, During our last session, I showed you some books, and they're for kids. We don't care. I mean, it's teaching about money, and if it can help us to do it, we don't care. And so one of the things in those books was make a budget. It's not hard, and that's essentially what we're doing by writing down what we make and what we spend. That it's as simple as that. It doesn't have to be any harder than that. First thing, remember, pay yourself first. Put your money in savings. For me, I put money away for tax season. I put money in for unexpected expenses. I have money just because. And before I even get that money, I have put money away into my 401k. That comes out of my check. I don't see it. It's just accumulating. So if you haven't started your retirement account, whichever one you have access to, do that now. It's important because the longer that you have, the more compounding works for you. And don't worry, you think it's too late. It's never too late as long as you're putting some money away and consistently. Okay, consistency is the key. So remember that. So after my last episode, so people pinged me and I got thumbs up. I had one person say, you know what, to save money, I'm going to be eating fettuccine Alfredo every day for the rest of the year. And you know what? Been there. I totally understand it. I feel for you because those ramen noodles, that was a mainstay for me in my 20s. I needed to save money, and how was I going to do that? And the ramen, and usually with some scrambled egg in it to have protein. So just do what you have to do. We all have to do something, whatever that happens to be. Take care of yourself in any way you can. Okay. Now, the other thing is, one of my subscribers said, hey, you held up those books, but everything was backwards. And I'm hoping this time, let's just see. Can you see it? Economics and You. See that little boss lady on the cover? I love her with that cash in her hand and trying to figure some things out. So I'm hopeful this time you can see it. Economics and You. There's that one. And then there's Money Matters for Teens workbook. Okay. Check that out. Check it out. Okay. So we've got that. Then we had Financial Literacy and Life Skills for Kids, but don't tell them we're going to use it too. Okay. Something. So just look for that. Do I have, yeah, the whole thing. Again, I'm hopeful you can see everything. Then, I held up 3 books the last time. It's like, I know I got a 4th one, and I did. I finally found it. The time is now to start building wealth. And this was primarily about investments, so I got it. Now, I haven't read any of these. I thumbed through them when I was looking to order, but I haven't read them. And so we're going to touch on some things together because I'm certain we can learn something from every last one of these, okay? Now I'm going to go back to Economics and You with my boss lady there on the cover. So, does everybody still use a checkbook? I know it's going the way of the dodo bird. I know. Most of my bills, most of my everything is paid automatically. Automatic debit, whatever. I do that, but I do keep some checks because I had an issue. I can't remember who the creditor was. I had everything set up, and for whatever reason, their system would not take my money. Seriously? Okay, whatever. So then I just write checks. And I think I write 5 checks a month, no more than 6. I know that for certain. And it's fine, do what you have to do. I buy checks and they last a very long time because of that. And I bring up the checks question for you because I told you about the couple in their 30s the last time we got together who, when I was working as a banker, and these people would come in way more often than they should have been coming in because they could not figure out how they kept overdrafting their account. And it was important that we sit down and talk about the overdrafts because it was costing them money. I can't remember what overdrafts were, $5, $10. I honestly don't recall. But it was way more than they needed to be spending. And when you're looking at every dollar coming in and every dollar going out, you can't afford to waste money that way. So, I tried the best that I could. And I saw this in one of the kids' books, and I'm hoping you can see it, a checkbook register. And for those of you not using checks at all, you're like, I don't know what that is. I really don't care. Okay. But you should be doing something like that, because how are you going to keep track of your expenses? When I said, what are you spending? It would be somewhere, right? And you need to keep it in two places, because that couple's problem was they kept looking at what the bank was telling them that they had. Only thing is if you write a check, you never know exactly, first of all, when the person is going to, or the business is going to take it in to be cashed. You just don't know. And so you need to keep track of checks that you've written, debits to your account that you've made. You're going to keep a running tally somewhere of your account. And the easiest way to do that is with that checkbook register. So even if you're not writing a check, money is going from your account. And to keep track of that and to know, you really need to know your numbers. I went to the bank one day, and this young woman was helping me. She wanted to know my account numbers so she could go in. I rattled them off like nobody's business. And she looked at me and said, that's surprising. It really shouldn't be, because it's your money. You need to keep track of it. You need to keep tabs on it. And so I know those account numbers. Yep, I surely do. And I keep my checkbook register. What do I have? What does the bank say that I have? And I go in every week to check on that. And I don't even know why I get contacted on a regular basis, but from the reporting agencies, the credit reporting agencies, and there's 3 of them if I remember correctly, but one of them, and I think it's Equifax, reaches out to me routinely. And I go in, okay, what's it showing? Because there could be, and I've had this happen before years ago, where something was reported either incorrectly or I had paid it off, but it wasn't showing in the system. So you might have to do some legwork to get that taken care of, but just know your numbers, okay? Super important. And again, 2 things. If you haven't started up the account for your retirement, get that done, okay? Oops, I had a finger up. That was not cool. The second thing I was going to tell you about is just make sure to, plain old piece of paper, okay? Just get a tablet and write your numbers down. Paychecks and your expenses. This is what I did ages ago, and it was like, wait, hold up. I have way more money going out than I have coming in. That is a problem. You don't want to be running a deficit. Okay, just let's nip that in the bud as much as we possibly can. And once I did that, it's like, okay, where can I save money? Fancy coffees, that had to go. Except for occasionally, you have to take care of yourself. You have to have fun. You have to have money to have that fancy schmancy coffee or that delightful lunch that costs $20, $30. You got to have money put away to do that sort of thing, but you just have to be careful about it. So just some things to think about, all right? So as we discussed before, we like to keep these short and sweet, between 10. I seem to be inching up from 13 minutes to, 14, 15 minutes. That's okay. Watch what you can. And, we'll be back for you. And I said at the top, anyone who's interested in joining this community, please, by all means, it is free. I will never come at you looking for you to pay for this. This is all about us sharing. I share with you. Hopefully you share with me. And let's just do this together. And subscribe to Get Your Money Right with Yvonne. It is free. We appreciate you. Thank you so very much. And we will see you next time, okay? You take care. Bye bye.